Thank you for being here. I'm here to talk about how to bake a Derby pie. According to Desha.com, the original Derby pie recipe was made in 1950 by a guy by the name of George Kern. He's made it with the assistance of his parents. Since then, there have been many variations created. Today I'm going to be talking about my family's personal recipe and how to cook it. The three main things I'm going to talk about are the ingredients, the mixing process, and the baking process. The first thing to talk about is the ingredients. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to separate the ingredients into wet and dry categories. The wet ingredients include 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 stick of softened butter, and 2 beaten eggs. The dry ingredients includes 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, 1 cup of chocolate chips, and 1 cup of smashed pecans, and 1 pastry shell. Another word for pastry shell would be a pie shell or the crust. So, next is the mixing process. It doesn't matter if you differentiate the ingredients into wet and dry categories, you'll be mixing them all into the same bowl all at once. First, you want to prepare the ingredients. You want to take out the butter and let it soften and reach room temperature. If by the time you use it, it is not yet softened, you can put it into the microwave and cook it for a few seconds. Next are the eggs. You want to crack them into a bowl and break them into a beaten mix. The last ingredient to be prepared is the pecans. You want to put them into a Ziploc baggie and smash them either with a mallet or, if you don't have a mallet, a rolling pin. You want to get them into a crumble, not a dust, so you have to be careful there. When you start mixing the ingredients, you want to start with the butter into the sugar and mix it until it's all completely mixed. Then you follow with the flour, and then the eggs, and then vanilla. Each time you mix them completely before moving on to the next ingredient. Finally, you mix in the chips and the pecans. You want to pour them in gradually while mixing them so that it's evenly distributed. Once it's completely mixed, you want to pour it into a pastry shell. Traditionally, my family uses a Keebler Graham pie shell, but you can use either a homemade pie shell or a regular pie shell bought from the store. Then we bake it. The final process being the baking process. You want to set the oven at 350. You want to do this before you start mixing it, but I did it after, and it took me a whole lot longer to wait for it. So, anyway, once the oven is at the desired temperature, you want to put in the pie and cook it for 50 to 55 minutes. Once that is done, you want to take out a toothpick and stab it right into the center of the pie in order to test if it's done yet. If there's sticky stuff stuck to the toothpick, then it's not done yet. And you want to put it back in and let it cook for just a couple more minutes. Once it is done, you want to take it out and put it on a rack to cool down. And thus, you have a Derby pie. You can get a slice, pour yourself a glass of milk, and enjoy. This are my audience members.